Okay, so if this one's not making sense to you, you've got to just kind of break it down and think very, very logically. That's all they're trying to get out of this problem. They're saying, all right, they got two questions. We'll call this one question A for the 70%, and then for the 46%, we'll call it question B. Now, there's a group of people from A who are going to say they agreed. So everybody in this bubble agreed with A. All right. Now, over here, we'll say this is the agreed with B bubble. And there are going to be some people who agreed with A and B. So now the question is, if 70, and we could just imagine, let's just say they talked to 100 people, just to make it easy to imagine, because then the percentages fit well. So let's just imagine they talked to 100 people. 70 of them said yes to A, 46% said yes to B. Now the question here is, what's the smallest, let me double check, I believe the question is what is the smallest percentage of people that could have agreed with both statements? Yeah, so the first part is what is the smallest. So think worst case scenario. Okay, so we know this bubble has to make 70, this bubble has to make 46. Is it possible that we did this? That 70 people said they agreed with A, 46% of people said 46 people said they agreed with B, nobody overlapped. Well, if there's only 100 people to begin with, because remember, we're thinking this is percentages, this is bigger than 100. Can't happen. So now, let's say this was 5. Well, as we know from Venn diagrams, if this is 5 and the whole bubble's supposed to add up to 70, now this is going to become 65. And then, likewise, this is going to become 41. So now when I add these all up, still too much. So the question here is what is the amount of overlap? Well, if we did 10, so now this becomes 60, this becomes 36, we're getting closer. So the question is how much do we need to knock out of here to make it work out? I hope that helps. I hope that helps you see the idea. So what we're doing here is playing worst case scenario. What's the smallest number I have to put in here to make it so the whole thing adds up to make 100 people. Then for the other one, for the most people that could have answered in the center, well, now it's the other direction. You say, okay, is it possible? I say, okay, there's this A bubble has to be 70, B bubble has to be 46. So I could technically do 46 and 0. So then would this be possible for me to fill in the rest of the other people here to make up our 70? And of course it would. So 24. So that makes 70, which means everybody else who wasn't accounted for, the other 30 people, they are saying they didn't agree with either A or B. So there you go. So therefore, what's the greatest number of people that could go in this middle? 46. Because if we try to do, let's say, 50, that wouldn't work. Because now there's too many people in our B bubble. So it's got to be 46. Okay, I hope that helps with those problems.